How are you today?
Good, thanks.
So to start off, in your opinion, what is the biggest difficulty that disabled students face in the University of York?
Well, it depends on student to student. I mean, for myself, having Asperger's, part of my main issue is generally socialising. I often have a harder time to do that. However, you'll find people in wheelchairs, for example, they might have problems with accessibility, which
hmm
I'm aware is still an issue, and
Yeah.
that's one thing I want to fight for.
Okay, moving on to that actually. Do you think accessibility problems in this university are down to a lack of awareness or lack of funding?
I could say it's a mixture of both. I mean, like I've still hear stories. I remember vividly a girl back in first term of this year saying the amount of problems she had relating to a department, relating to issues with going on trips, and with her being in a wheelchair, it's very difficult for her. And I was just frankly quite disappointed that that's still happening. So I want to be able to lobby the university departments to make sure that accessibility is still top of the agenda.
Do you think a part-time officer has the sway to lobby something like the disabled student allowance, which is quite a large and complex issue?
Well, obviously, a part-time officer at a university, I'm not going to be able to influence the government, but what I'd like to do is try and lobby the university, try and get the funding there to help bridge the DSA cuts. We've known about these cuts for over a year now. Very little has been done to bridge the gap, which I don't think is right, and that's one thing I really want to fight for.
I think an issue you're going to face if you do come into office is university will go to you. So Sam, where should we get the money from to plug this gap? Because every department wants their money. Where should this be taken from?
Well, I'll work productively with the university. It may not necessarily be about more money. It might just be about prioritising certain things. So when you've got accommodation,
hmm
just make sure that if someone needs a specific room, most of the time they'll have them rooms. Often it can just be a case of they've already given the room to someone or something. Just efficiency isn't always what it's not always funding. It can sometimes be efficiency, but
hmm
there may still need to be the gap funded. I can work with the university to push this case, and hopefully they can see eye to eye with me.
Okay, perfect. You mentioned increasing opportunities for sports and disabled people in your manifesto. Are you disappointed there has been more progress in this so far, especially in this year?
I am a bit disappointed that we haven't had as much progress. I mean, there is progress going on at the moment. I know in the network meetings, I know the Langwith officer is doing quite well to organise blind football. So that's something I'm fully behind, and I'd happily work with him and York Sport president and college reps, and hopefully maybe try and, even if it's an exhibition match or something, try and get something done at Roses, speak with Lancaster, see what can be done.
Great. Mental health has been a big talking point over the past few years. How do you view the services currently on offer for to students with mental health issues?
It's well, having been through Open Door Team myself,
hmm
I know the good work they can do. They definitely did a good service for me, but not everyone can be as lucky as me. I've heard people saying they've had waits of weeks, and that I understand that they're struggling now. But one thing I'd really like to do is bring in a suggestion box so they can see and have clear feedback that's completely anonymous, so that they can improve on that.
Okay. So you believe that the problems within mental health isn't down to do you believe that their problems are down to the fact they don't know there's a problem, presumably? If it's suggestion blocks, that implies that they don't know there's an issue.
So, sorry,
If
what do you
it's
mean?
so you suggest a suggestion box, does that imply that they don't know there's an issue?
Well, there's still issues that they're not aware of. So by having that, even if there's issues they're already aware of, then that'll be reinforced. But then issues they're not aware of, that can be reinforced as well.
Okay. Though it is notable that has been mentioned in your manifesto, learning disabilities have thankfully received much support and attention in recent years. Many students who have these disabilities may not realise it due to failures to identify it at school level. This means they receive inadequate support and have to suffer in silence. How do you combat this problem?
I'd like to try and raise awareness of this, and then I know, for example, dyslexia. There's a few of my friends who have it.
hmm
They're saying about they're having issues with it. So I know, for example, the films that go over to change the colours. I know the academic departments are usually getting better with that, but there's still room for improvement, and I just want to work on the work that's already been done.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sam. You've been great. Is
Cheers.
there anything I'd like to say before we go?
Just please take the time to read my manifesto and please vote for me.